Hello students, basic concepts in geometry, video number 5. In this video, we are going to solve practice set 1.2, page number 7. You have to refer the textbook. Question number 1, some points are given and their coordinates are also given. We have to decide whether the given segments are congruent or not. Sub question number 1, segment DE and segment AB. Whether these two segments are congruent or not, that we have to decide. When the two segments are said to be congruent, if their lengths are equal. So, length of the segment DE is, that is, distance between the 2 points D and E. How to find the distance, that is length? Subtract the smaller coordinate from the greater. So 9 minus negative 7, that gives us 16, result number 1. Length AB is, how to find this length AB? Subtract the smaller coordinate from the greater. So 5 minus negative 3, that gives us 8. So from 1 and 2, length of segment DE not equals to length of segment AB. This is from 1 and 2. As the lengths are not equal, segment DE and segment AB are not congruent. Sub question number 2, segment BC and segment AD. Here it is BC. So length of the segment BC is 5 minus 2, that is equals to 3. Length of the segment AD is, subtract the smaller coordinate from the greater. So negative 3 minus negative 7, that gives us 4. So here also from 1 and 2, length of the two segments are not equal. So length of segment BC not equals to length of segment AD. This is from 1 and 2. Therefore, segment BC and segment AD are not congruent. Sub question number 3, segment BE and segment AD. So here, length of the segment BE, subtract the smaller coordinate from the greater. So 9 minus 5 is equals to 4, result number 1. Length of the segment AD is, this is greater coordinate, this is smaller coordinate. So negative 3 minus negative 7, that gives us 4, result number 2. From 1 and 2, length of segment BE is equals to length of segment AD from 1 and 2. Therefore, segment BE is congruent to segment AD. Okay. Now, question number 2, 3 and 4, very simple questions are there. You people have to try for them. Now, we will go to question number 5, page number 8. Yes, you have to refer the textbook. Here it is, question number 5. Write the answers to the following questions with given reference to the figure. This one. Okay, question number 1. Write the name of the opposite ray of ray RP. Yes, so here it is the figure. Yes, this is the figure. We have to write the name of the ray which is opposite of ray RP. This side ray RP, opposite ray will be ray RS or ray RT. So here it is the answer. Ray RT is the opposite ray of ray RP. Okay, then sub question number 2. Here it is sub question number 2. Write the intersection set, okay, of ray PQ and ray RP. Is ray PQ. Ray PQ this side. Ray RP this big ray. We have to write their intersection. Intersection means set of common points. So points on the ray PQ are common to both ray PQ and ray RP. So ray PQ is the intersection of ray PQ and ray RP. So here it is the answer. Sub question number 3. Write the union set of ray PQ and ray QR. Union set. Union set of ray PQ, this side, this complete one, and ray QR, this one, this side. So union of ray PQ and ray QR, this one, will give us the complete line. Okay, so ray PQ union ray QR gives us line QT. Now, sub question number 4. State the ray of which segment QR is subset. Okay, segment QR. Here it is the segment QR. We have to state the ray. This segment QR is the subset of which ray? So, segment QR, all the points of segment QR are the points of ray RQ. So, their union is segment QR. Segment, all the points of segment QR are the points of ray RQ. So we can say is a segment QR is subset of ray RQ. Also segment QR is subset of ray SQ. Also TQ can be considered. Sub question number 5. Write the pair of opposite rays with common endpoint R. Is R should be the common endpoint and ray should be opposite. So ray RQ and ray RT are the opposite rays with common endpoint R. So ray RP and ray RS are the opposite rays with common endpoint R. Is sub question number 6. You have to try for yourself. Then sub question number 7. Write the intersection set of ray SP and ray ST. Ray SP, this side, and ray ST, here it is. Ray SP, this one, ray ST, this side. So this is ray SQ, this side ray ST, their intersection means set of common points. So S is the only common point. So ray SP intersection ray ST is equals to point S. Okay, question number 6. You people have to try yourself. From the question number 6, sub question number 3 is eliminated. And now we will move to conditional statements and converse. Conditional statements and converse. Now listen carefully. Is the statements which can be written in the if then form are called conditional statements. The part of the statement following if is called antecedent and the part following then is called consequent. So read it carefully and get it understood. What is the conditional statement, what is the antecedent, and what is the consequent. Now here, consider the statement. Consider the statement. The diagonals of rhombus are perpendicular bisectors of each other. This is the statement. Is we have to write its conditional statement. Here conditional statement is if the given quadrilateral is a rhombus, then its diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. Are you getting? The part of the statement following if, which is that the given quadrilateral is a rhombus. This is antecedent. And part of the statement followed by following then means this one. Its diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other is consequent. So here this underlined part is antecedent and this underlined part is consequent. Okay, you have to read this one very carefully so that you will understand it. Greek mathematician Euclid took for granted some self-evident geometrical statements which are which were accepted by all and called them postulates. Okay, who is that? Greek mathematician Euclid is considered some of the geometrical statements as true and for them proof is not required. Such a statements are called postulates. So what is postulate? The geometrical statement which we are going to consider as a true result for which proof is not required. Such statements are called postulates. Here are some of the Euclid's postulates. Some of Euclid's postulates are here. Sub question number 1. There are infinite lines passing through a point. See here it is the point P. We can draw infinite number of lines passing through the point P. So the postulate is that there are infinite lines passing through a point. Now postulate number 2. There is one and only one line passing through 2 points. A and B are the 2 points. So there is one and only one line, that is line L, passing through the points A and B. This we consider as a true result. Yes, and for that proof is not required. Then postulate number 3. A circle of given radius can be drawn taking any point as its center. So if radius of the circle is given, we can consider any point as its center and we can draw the circle. For example, radius of the circle is 1 centimeter. By taking the point O, we can draw the circle. In this example, in this figure, radius of circle is 3 centimeter. We can take any point C on the plane and we can draw the figure. So, a circle of given radius can be drawn taking any point as its center. Postulate number 4. All right angles are congruent with each other. See the figures. Is angle ABC, right angle, measure is 90 degree. Angle PQR, right angle, its measure is 90 degree. Angle LMN, this is also right angle, is its measure is 90 degree. So all right angles are congruent with each other. This right angle, this right angle, this right angle are congruent because their measures are equal. So we have the result angle ABC congruent to angle PQR congruent to angle LMN, since measure of each of the angle is 90 degree.